Hey guys, in today's video I want to show you how I edit a photo made by Paweł, one of the participants of a star party which was organized in the Izery Mountains in Poland. This photograph was taken by Paweł using his Canon R, a mirrorless camera, and a telescope Newton 150, and the focal length was 750 millimeters. On the EQ3-2 mount, without any guiding, the sub-exposures length was 30 seconds, 30 seconds, and the total exposure time was about 40 minutes, I believe, something like this. It was just it was the first time when Paweł was doing anything with astrophotography, so we didn't know what the result will be, but it turned out that the result is quite satisfactory. It's quite good. The result is quite good, even though there are no flats, there are no calibration frames, no flats, so there is a serious vignetting in this image, but I will show you how one can deal with this. It requires a lot of cropping, unfortunately, but still I think the result will be quite okay, even though there are no flats. The second problem is that there was no coma corrector in this Newton telescope, but the shape of stars is, yes, it is bad for a professional astrophotographer, but for an amateur like me or like Paweł, who only starts with astrophotography, I think such stars are not a big problem. Most important thing, and this is what I want to stress here, the most important thing is that even with a very basic setup, you can make a pretty picture with just a little bit of skill. And another thing is that what I will show you is probably not the best way it can be done. It probably can be done better. So if you know a way to process such a photo without flats in a better way, please let me know in the comments. I will gladly learn something new. Okay, so the first step will be, because right now we are in Siril. And the second part of editing, of processing, I will do in GIMP. But first we are in Siril, and the first step of the processing, this will be the crop. So I will just crop away the worst parts of this picture. So I make a frame, click right mouse button and choose crop. And now, after cropping, I can try to make second step, which is background extraction. Background extraction, 6 samples per line, grid tolerance I set to 0.5. Generate. This sample can be removed because it was placed on the smaller galaxy. Let's see what the outcome will be. If I switch to histogram mode, I see what's going on the corrected picture. I can remove this sample from here and set it a little bit further. It is important to put the samples in places only with background, without any stars. So I can try to reposition the samples. I can also try to add some more in the areas which are overcorrected. Where to put this one? I can put one here, maybe one here. This is actually the most difficult part in editing this picture, because this is like fourth try. I did it previously and I still can't get very good results in this background extraction process. But yeah, we'll see. With the right mouse button, you remove a sample and you place a sample with the left mouse button. I can remove this one as well. And this one is on a star, so let's move it also. This one is on the galaxy, so it shouldn't be placed here at all. Up, up. Okay, let's see if we get some, maybe the result will be better. Compute background. Well, it's not perfect, but I think for the purpose of this tutorial, it should be okay. Remember that we are not making a very good photography to get an astronomy picture of the day award. We are just trying to recover something which is already not very good. The basic material, I mean, the raw file is not, the raw stack is not very good because of the lack of flats. So what I'm showing here is my way of recovering and not my way of doing the best possible photo. But still, I hope it will be useful for my viewers. Okay, let's see now. Is it better? Yeah, I think maybe I will add just, I know it's on the galaxy, but maybe it will help to darken this area here in the corner. Compute background. Oh. Okay, maybe one more here. If you know of a better way of placing the samples, I mean how they should be placed to better correct such lack of flats, please let me know. Oh, okay. Compute background. Okay, I think this is the best I can get for now. So I click apply. Now if I switch to auto stretch, it doesn't look so bad. So the second step will be to make color calibration, photometric color calibration, M31. It was loaded previously. This is the focal length of the telescope. This is the pixel size of Canon R mirrorless camera. And this is the image after color calibration. I think it looks quite alright. So the next step is to stretch it, but stretch it in a way which preserves the saturation. So first I will stretch the image with the histogram transformation. Just a little bit. Apply. And the second stretch, maybe a little bit more. Okay, and the second stretch I will make using the Asinh transformation, which is a way of stretching the material without washing out the colors. Like 25 maybe. Okay, 25, and raise the black point. Something like this. Ah, it's too much, too much, too much, too much. Beware of not clipping, beware of clipping the material, right? I think this is the correct English way of saying this. Beware of something. So beware of clipping the background. You don't want to make the background totally black. You want it to be in a shade of gray. Okay, so this was the second stretch. Apply. And maybe I will make another one, and maybe not. No, I think I will leave it. I will leave it like this. So now I will save the image as TIFF. I will save the image as TIFF, stretch, version 4, as TIFF, and it must be 16-bit TIFF, because I will remove the stars in Starnet. And for this I need 16-bit TIFF. Okay, so this is saved. This is me in OBS recording the material. Trying my best to speak English in the best way I can. Okay, so in Starnet I open the autosave stretch version 4 TIFF, and as the name of the outcome, no stars. No stars. Run. So Starnet started processing the photo, the picture. So I will turn off the recording and start it again when Starnet will finish its job. Okay, so Starnet has finished removing the stars. So now we can switch to GIMP and open both TIFFs as layers. Version 4 and version 4 no stars. Okay, so there are some leftovers of stars left in the starless image. We can try just to clone them out like this. Clone them out using the clone tool. To use it, after selecting it, you press Ctrl to select a region which will be cloned, and you press left mouse button on an area where you want to apply the change. So I press press and hold Ctrl, press once, this area will be cloned to where I click. Oh, so I can clone out the remaining stars, how to say, the leftovers of stars. Oh. Okay, and now if I wait. That's okay. No. And now I think the stars, the traces of stars, the leftovers of stars are sufficiently removed. I can remove them from here as well. So what I can do and what I will do is, this is the image with stars and this is the image without stars. So I can change the blending mode, the blend mode, to subtract. So only stars are left on the image. So I press right mouse button, choose new from visible, and I have new layer only with stars. I can name it stars and turn it off for a while. Change the blending mode to normal again. And now what I can do with this starless image, I can slightly correct the background. So first I will try to make this part a little bit brighter, a little bit darker, sorry. Select feather 400, colors, levels. Let's make it a little bit darker. But first I should duplicate this, just in case. So this one was darker, select none. Oh, okay. I can make the corner a little bit brighter, because it's quite dark. Select feather, colors, levels. Let's make the corner a little bit brighter. I can also try to remove this brighter parts. Select none. Not to remove, to correct them. To make them darker. Select feather 400, colors, levels. To make them a little bit darker, select none. Okay, and I can also try to correct this part, which is also a little bit too bright. This is a little bit too bright, and the corner it's a little bit too dark. Select feather 400, colors, levels. Let's make it a little bit darker. Select none. And let's make the corner a little bit brighter. Select feather 400, colors, levels. Just a little bit brighter. Okay, and I think this image is quite alright. What remains is to increase the saturation of the galaxy. I can also make, maybe I can correct it. The background, I can correct the background here as well, using exactly the same method. So I select this area, I feather it, and go down with levels a little bit. Make it darker, select none. And let's make the corner brighter, select feather 400, color levels. Okay, select none. What I can do is to make the background a little bit darker, the whole background a little bit darker, so I can duplicate the layer, and I will also save the file just in case, stretch version 4. Save it just in case. Okay, duplicate layer once again. And now let's add a layer mask. Grayscale copy of layer. Invert mask, yes, because I want to make the background darker. So if I press right mouse button on the mask and choose show layer mask, we can see that the mask is almost white. What we want is to make white only the parts which will reveal the background. So I choose colors, I choose curves. Let's increase the contrast of the mask. Okay. Let's blur the mask a little bit. Blur, Gaussian blur. Like 5, like 6. Okay. Let's increase contrast even more, especially the background, the area where the background is. Where the background is, it should be brighter. Okay. So now using this mask, the corrections which I will apply to this image, to this layer, will be applied only to the areas where the mask is white or brighter. So mostly the corrections will be applied mostly to the background. Show layer mask, I don't want to see it anymore. So let's choose colors, levels, and let's make the background a little bit darker, like this, okay. And using the same mask, I can also decrease the saturation just to reduce the color noise. There's a trace of a star. To reduce the color noise in the background. So with this mask still active, I can choose color, saturation, and decrease the saturation of the background. Okay. And I can also blur the background a little bit, also to make the noise less visible. Okay. Right. So this is it. File, save. And now I will press right mouse button on this layer, choose new from visible, and I have new layer which is corrected. Yes, the background is darker and it is blurred a little bit, and that is what I wanted to achieve. And now I can try to increase the saturation on the galaxy itself. And to do this, I can do it either using a mask, or I can just duplicate the layer and I can just use a selection. This will be the fastest way. Let's use the selection. All. Enter. I can also select the satellite galaxy. Enter. And now, to avoid oversaturating the cores of galaxies, let's switch in the free select tool. Let's choose subtract from the current selection and deselect the areas with cores to avoid oversaturating them. Up. And this one is okay. Okay, so now let's feather the selection, like 300, let's say. With Quick Mask, we can see which areas will be affected by our increasing of the saturation. So only the areas which are not red. The red is not selected, and the areas which are transparent will be affected. So now let's choose colors, saturation, and increase the saturation. Wait, okay. Increase the saturation, and I can also increase the saturation in the blues, in the blue color, just to make the blue areas in the galaxy more visible. And maybe I can also increase the lightness just a bit. Yes, but you have to be careful to not overdo it. Just a little bit. Okay. Select, voila. Select none. All right. I think it's quite all right. Duplicate layer. I can try to increase the contrast just a bit, but I think, no, I think it will be too much. I think it will be too much. Because the image is noisy, after all it is only 40 minutes in very short exposures. So the goal of this processing which I'm showing is to show as much as possible, to get as good the image, to make the image as good as possible, but not overdo it. It's just a recovery mission. Okay, so I think the galaxy can stay like this. And another step is to add the stars, but first I will duplicate the layer with stars. I will duplicate it once again, and I will increase the saturation of the stars. And I will make it in a way which I usually use. So I make two layers. The bottom one I blur, like 2. I blur the bottom one, I increase the saturation of the bottom layer. Okay. And I blur the upper layer just a bit, 0.5, 0.5, just a bit. And I change the blending mode to luminance to get the color of the stars from the bottom layer. And now new from visible, stars saturated. Let's name this layer like this. So we have stars which are more saturated, and we have the galaxy with slightly increased contrast and also more saturated. So now we can mix all this by setting the blending mode of the stars to addition, And if I activate this layer, the stars will be added to the starless image of the galaxy. And I think that's it. Now I can make another new from visible, and this is the the finished image after corrections. We can compare it with the original image, which should be somewhere here in Siril. If I open it once again, the original image of the galaxy without any processing. So this is the original image, and this is this was the original image, and this is the image after processing. So I think the difference is, well, high enough. The improvement is quite visible, and this was the goal, to recover as much as possible from such from an image without any flats, taken with a very basic equipment like Newton telescope with the aperture of 150 millimeters and focal length of 750 millimeters on an EQ3 mount without any guiding. So this is the original image, and this is the image after corrections. Okay, that's it for now. I hope at least some of you will get some informations from my video, informations which can be helpful for you in your processing of your astrophotos using free software like Siril and GIMP. Okay, thank you for your attention, and see you next time.